Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by the winning crew chief from this weekend, the crew chief of the number 5 Chevrolet. Of course, that's Cliff Daniels, as the 5 team went to victory lane on Sunday at Martinsville. Of course, that's Kyle Larson's first win at Martinsville. Cliff, how are you, man?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Doing well. So, after the race, we kind of heard you get him a little bit emotional on the radio there. What made this race so big for you, for this team, and also for you personally?
Yeah, just several factors. One was getting back to the track and being with the team. After the month off from the suspension, and just the way the sport is and the way our team operates. We're a very close team, and Kyle and I are very close. So being able to be there with those guys and get back in the flow. And then to have the success on Sunday was special in itself. And then for me personally, I have a long history of being at Martinsville Speedway. My dad raced late models there when I was a kid. I raced late models there growing up. A lot of my family friends are from around that area. A lot of my racing late model heroes are from around that area. And plus, just knowing the mountain that we have to climb every time we go there. Martinsville is always a very dynamic track. A lot of things change every year between tires and aero packages and weather conditions and all the differences. It's just a tough place, and it's been a tough place for Kyle. He's put in a lot of work to get himself better. We put in a lot of work to try to help him and to give him a car that he's comfortable in. So all these different factors just went into what made it a very special day and a very special moment.
Yeah. What has this could describe what this season's been like for this for the 5 team? We talked to Kyle earlier in the year, and that was before Phoenix. And it's been an interesting year for you guys. With the getting the wins, 2 out of the last 3, and then all the things that you had to fight with in the beginning of the season. What has this year been like for you guys?
Yeah, this year's been a little bit up and down when you look at the results, but honestly, on straight up performance, we've been competitive every week, and we were I think we were leading or in the top 3 of the Daytona 500, coming to the white flag. That's a great spot to be in, and then you never know what can happen. Obviously, it didn't work out. And then let me look at the calendar here. Went to Auto Club, had a very fast car. Unfortunately, mechanical issues sidelined us there. Vegas had a shot to win. Phoenix had a shot to win. Atlanta, we were running second when the 10 car unfortunately blew a tire in front of us. Coda wasn't a great race, just so many different circumstances, but really a good rebound for the team. I want to say we were 2 laps down and came back to finish on the lead lap. Won Richmond, had a shot to win Bristol, and won Martinsville. So on performance, we've been in the mix, and this car is such a challenge for all the teams, and certainly for us, that so much of it comes down to execution and putting yourself in the right place at the right time. As I just illustrated, sometimes this year that's worked out great, and other times, we've not gotten the result. But the team's working together great. Kyle and I are communicating as good as we ever have, which is great. And it's just a lot of fun to be a part of right now.
Yeah. Of course, what has this been like in just adjusting to this new package with this year with Phoenix, with Richmond and Martinsville? Because it seemed like it's been working out pretty well for you guys, because you were fast at all of the tracks that it's been on.
Yeah, it was a big unknown going into the season, and Hendrick Motorsports didn't have any team representation at the Phoenix test, where a lot of guys got to get their hands and data on the car and just get a feel for what the package would be and what the differences would be. So we were a little apprehensive going into the start of the season, just without that true data point of our own car, our own stuff, of getting our hands on it. But really a huge credit to all the men and women at Hendrick Motorsports behind the scenes, from engineering departments, the engine shop, all the mechanical folks, all the engineering folks that may have said that already, all the folks that have helped us, orchestrate and kind of architect what we needed going into this year, especially with the short track package. New aero package really didn't have great results at the short track races in 2022. So already we identified we needed a step change in performance at the short tracks from last year. Then add in the uncertainty of the new package. We knew that was going to be a tough mountain to climb, and with the help of all the teammates here at Hendrick Motorsports, we put all four teams have put fast race cars on the racetrack, and that's been really neat to see it come to fruition, and thankful that we have competitive cars to be in position at these races.
Yeah. So coming into this weekend at Talladega, what's it like to go there? Just just as with how unpredictable this racing is. But we saw Kyle up there in the Daytona 500 be pretty competitive. What's it going to be like going to Talladega this
Yeah,
weekend?
what's interesting is speedway racing has turned into very much of an execution game. By execution, I mean getting on and off pit road correctly with the group that you're pitting with, not making mistakes on pit road, having a very fast and efficient, pit stop in the middle of the stages, and really keeping your car up front. This car, because the bumpers align better and the car is a bit tougher than what the old car used to be. Yes, the wrecks still happen, but I don't have the data off the top of my head, but I would think less frequently do the wrecks happen. And there's just a lot more 2x2 racing. So it makes it tougher to come from the back to the front in a handful of laps. You kind of have to position yourself up towards the front. And that boils down to execution. It starts with qualifying, getting a good starting spot, getting a good pit stall selection on pit road, and then making sure you execute the race, correctly as you go. So that's what we've identified. That's what our mindset's going to be. Confident that we can have a fast car going there again, and certainly we've got to do the right things right, throughout the day.
How has Kyle changed from? I know what last year was. Last year, 2 years ago, you guys came off the 10-win season in the championship. Last year was the first year with this car, and then this year, what have you kind of noticed in Kyle in these last few years? Just get better as a driver, especially these last few weeks, and going and winning Martinsville, which is as he said, it's not been one of his best tracks, and you guys go out and win it.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I've learned the most about him is that there's never a point in his career where he's been complacent with his success and with his performance as a driver. He'll be the first to admit anytime he goes to a racetrack, no matter what type of car, no matter what series, he wants to be the best, and if he's not, he wants to learn how to be the best. So what's different is he's evolved as a driver, but that's not really different to who he is. He's always evolving as a driver. You and I both would think of him, and any fan would think of him as one of the best talents, behind the wheel of a race car right now. And as true as that is, he still wants to be better every week. And so I think that hunger, that drive, just to continue to study and be a student of the game and to get better, that's what makes him so good. And I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Yeah. Just really just kind of, these next few tracks coming up, you got Dover, Kansas, Darlington, all places that you guys have run very, very well at. What do you feel like coming up these next few tracks, and just a whole bunch of maybe different packages as well for some of them?
Yeah, I would say cautiously optimistic. The optimism comes from our previous race performance at a lot of these places, and even with the next gen car. But cautious in saying that because this is the top level racing series in the States, right? So you have all these top tier teams that are pushing so hard that even though we kind of got off to a fast start, and yes, we ran well at Auto Club if it weren't for a mechanical issue, and we had fast cars in Vegas, that can go by you so quick. You can get passed by the competition. So we have a lot of things that we still needed to look at to be better. We're looking at those things, working in those areas. But certainly this time of the year is fun. We enjoy the stretch of races, and the team can kind of find its groove here. So I'm looking forward to the stretch.
All right, Cliff Daniels, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and best of luck this weekend at Talladega.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for having me.